Okay, good morning. Welcome to
FamilyMath 1168.
Math 1168. So this is a problem from our friend Catriona Agg. And, I said we only printed out the picture. What was the question here?
So the question was this length here of the radius of the quarter circle is 5, and we're trying to find the total area of these squares.
Okay. All right.
So
how did this go?
So I just marked in that this was 5, and then from that, since we have two squares of the same side length, and then one connects up here, we know this splits the side in half, so these each have length 5 halves, and from that we know they have this square's area 5/4, and then the other length we know is
The big square has area what?
25/4.
25/4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they each have that area.
All right.
The other length we know is this connection here with these smaller squares. Since this connects to the quarter circle, it also is a radius, and this has length 5.
All right. Great.
And it also forms a right triangle. We don't know what these lengths are yet, but we have a right triangle. I called the length x. This length is 5 halves plus x, and this length is 2x.
Okay.
And so we get 5 halves plus x squared plus 2x squared equals 25. That's the equation for this.
5 halves plus x squared.
Yep.
Plus
2x squared.
2x quantity squared equals 25. Okay, yeah, great.
And simplifying that, we get 25/4 plus 5x plus x squared. So we have 5 halves times 5 halves, and then 5 halves times x times 2, and then the x squared, plus 4x squared. And then, since this was in fourths, I wrote this as 100/4 because I wanted to move. I wanted to subtract 100/4 from both sides, so I could use the quadratic formula to find out x.
Okay.
And so we have an x and a 4x, x squared and a 4x squared. We get 5x squared plus 5x minus 75/4, and that equals 0. Just because I could, I divided 5 out of every term.
Okay.
Just to simplify it.
Seems like a good idea.
X squared plus x minus 15/4 equals 0. And then using the quadratic formula, we get x equals minus 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 squared. That comes from b. Minus 4 times 15/4 times 1. So that equals a plus 15 all over 2. And so this square root of 1 plus 15 simplifies to square root of 16, which is 4. And so we get minus 1 plus or minus 4 over 2. And these are the two values which could be the length of our small square. But since minus 1 minus 4 over 2 is negative, we have to choose the other one.
Okay.
And that ends up being 3 halves.
Gotcha.
And then from that we can just figure out the area, total area, because these squares each have area 9/4. And so we just add 25 plus 25 plus 9 plus 9, and then we get 68, and then we divide by 4 and get 17.
Cool. So, wow, that's really nice work. So you used a lot of different mathematical ideas to come up with that. That's really good. And so I gave you an additional problem if it wasn't 5, but it was just x. So
Yes.
we'll talk about that next.